Hi, this is Tim. I was
All right,
just
Tim.
thinking about our sun and how it seems so far away to us and how it could throw the light and the warmth so far and just right for these physical bodies. It's just amazing.
The technology of creation.
It's just so important that without our sun, I guess these physical bodies wouldn't be lasting long, or practically anything living here in this part of the psych realms or the material realm, at least in our area.
Yeah, and they're doing
Well,
a good job blocking it too. Trying to kind of creating a greenhouse, like in a greenhouse with all the chemtrails and the fuzz and pollutants up in the air. They say they're trying to block the climate, warming by doing that, but it's actually warming the planet even more by creating this film around the planet, which keeps the heat in like a greenhouse, seemingly. So we are lucky to have so far other planets have been done in for in the past, like Mars and other planets. The destroyers are active and doing what they do all the time. So that's why this presentation here is really important, because otherwise people just keep coming back and back, and it's getting worse and worse in the creation worlds. So this opportunity to get out of here, or to recognize at least more of who you really are, real awareness, is really important right now. Take advantage.
We take the sun for granted so much, it seems, when we should be so thankful for its warmth and all the life-giving power it has in this material realm. It just feels good sometimes.
And then I don't know if you.
So what?
Go ahead.
Do I hear you? It's good to be alive.
Well, would you rather be dead, or? No, it's your choice.
No, that's the thing, right?
It's your choice. I mean, either way, you're still around. I mean, either if you have a body or not, you're still going to be aware to a certain extent, no matter where you are.
It seems like we could be very thankful for this opportunity that we have right now of the New You sound to connect us with some real guidance and a real education. And it sounds like we'll find out that life is so much better than we can even imagine, where there's no authoritarians and no brutalitarians and no restrictions. I guess as long as we're not interfering with any other being in the real universes.
Edward, do you have any experiences? Do you have any real side experiences to share, or anything in the physical that's come up lately?
Well, thank you. What I'm thinking right now is that Kara was actually sharing some amazing experiences that she had on the real side, going, I believe, out of just the creation space. Does that make sense? So we have this space, and it's the creation, which is the cause and effect universe that we live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kara mentioned something about the real side, right? Now, the real side is when I'm transcending out of the cause and effect creation and those associated 5 psych realms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I'm having a dream at night, if I'm having a dream at night, that's not necessarily for me. That's not necessarily going out into the real universe. Is it? Or how does the group see that?
Yeah, by the way, Kara's not answering, so we're on our own here.
All right.
Maybe
can
Kevin
do it.
has some ideas here, maybe too, on that.
Well, that was a question about the real side, was it?
Yeah. You want to rephrase that again, Edward? Maybe.
Well, I'm just saying that the cause and effect creation that I'm living in with the associated 5 other realms that we talk about. Okay, so if I'm dreaming at nighttime, am I actually transcending the astral realm, which is a part of the space, the creation space that I'm in? And so if I'm dreaming, is that transcending people? I mean, I'm interested to know how other people see that. If they have a out of body experience, if they have a dream where they're going someplace, or viewing a different reality, a different vision, how is that transcending to beyond this cause and effect creation space?
Okay, I was listening as best as I could. Your voice is coming through a little distorted from where you're at. So, well, I mean, I'm probably not the best authority on answering these questions, to be honest. But I'll say a little of what I think and have experienced myself. Well, as far as I can gather, I mean, every single dream and experience is valid in what it sort of provides, which is primarily demonstrations and information to make to allow an individual to become more aware. And when you dream, you can go pretty much anywhere in and throughout creation and into the real universes. Even people who don't sing the new you will have dream demonstrations provided to them from the ears and possibly the guides. It's just a case of whether they recognise it or not. For those who do sing the new you and make the real connection, the guides come in and start building very elaborate sort of sets and on the in their dream arena in order to give them experiences and demonstrations, so they can pick out little bits of and gems of information that they can then construct together to build up a picture of how they can better become aware. But the demonstrations can take place anywhere throughout creation, from the astral realm, as I understand it, all the way through the causal to the mental, and then the ethereal, and in the real universes. And so really, I think we spoke a little bit about this last week, but yeah, the real side is basically, well, when you go to sleep, you'll have experiences on what they term to be the real side. Some of them can just be simple dreams that the personal self has put together just to allow the little self to experience certain things for whatever reasons, but those that are the experiences set up by the dream, by the guides, would be those deemed to be on the real side, and that can be not necessarily in the real universes, but it can also be anywhere in the psych realms and throughout creation. And the guides would also take an individual through all the different areas in creation in order that they can become more familiar with them and be able to recognise them and make comparisons and be able to differentiate between the different levels in creation, and also be able to compare them to the real universes. So it's, I don't know if that really answers your question. It sounded a bit burbly to me, but
No, thank you so much for that response, because I get what you're saying, that you have your own experience and you get to determine how that is affecting you and where you are. I get that. Yeah.
Some of it is like, if you have strong emotions in your dream visions, that maybe you're in places in the astral realm, and if you're having dream visions of past experiences or something, you would be like in the causal realm. And if you were trying to figure things out or something like that, maybe you'd be in the mental realm. And I wouldn't really know how to say anything about the real universes. It's just without any physical eyes or ears or nose or taste or smell, it sounds like the viewpoint is you can do whatever you want. It's just, I guess, whatever you'd want to do or be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a lot of freedom here. We're talking about, we're so used to being conditioned to restrictions and regulations that people, it's hard for people to get past that within themselves. These are the tap lines that we talk about, these self-imposed restrictions that we agree to. But from my experience, I don't, like Kevin, great real side experiences. He has wonderful experiences there. I'm not, I don't get a lot of those, but the guides will approach us in whatever way we can understand, to wake up, from our point of view. They see our point of view, and they'll approach us in different ways, whether it's real side or in the physical or through impulses. I get impulses primarily, intuition, things like that. They'll use whatever you can relate to, once you are willing and allow them to come into your sphere and work with you. They're very good at that. I mean, that's what they do. It's a challenge for them, but they do that very well. They just see the bigger picture all the time, and they'll constantly be with you and working with you. I mean, they're always with you. So it's just a matter of being willing and allowing them to steer you, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting talking about the real side, and I mean the whole thing is the isness. So that's, the creation world is so vast, and there's so much going on that you could get caught up in different ideas of it. But it's what what they're talking about, what they're showing us is this isness, this all is, this reality that just is. So that trumps everything else, basically, in the creation worlds. Although we can relate to and compare and reference the creation worlds, but it's just this isness that's totally awesome. It just goes on, becoming more aware of itself, and as we become more aware of ourselves. So again, creation is just a reference. It doesn't, it's a huge reference. I mean, it's a huge playground. It's also a huge place of suffering, and pain, but it's what we have to work with. It looks like it's almost necessary, though, for us to wake up, to have creation part of our experience, because that is our experience, what we do here and how we go about manifesting things for ourselves so we can better position ourselves with this greater reality.
Mm.
Todd,
That's
go ahead, Edward, if you have more.
no. Go ahead. What's Todd saying now?
Oh, I was asking Todd if he has anything to share today. How are you, Todd?
Pretty good, thanks. I started trying to get my head wrapped around this whole thing. I'm still rather, I guess, confused.
I was just talking to Dwayne just 10 minutes ago, and he said it's nearly, well, to paraphrase it, it's nearly impossible to really explain this to somebody, especially the way things are now in the world. For people to get it, it's almost very unusual or special. I mean, you're very unique if you do get it. It takes a bit of doing, processing and going through yourself. Whatever it takes, I'm not even sure what it takes. But it's just it's a recognition, of some sorts, and it's not like what we've been brought up with. So that's why it's difficult, because it doesn't compute with what we've been brought up with. There's not a clear-cut path set out for you. You're doing it yourself now. We're all big. We've grown up. We've matured. Now it's up to us to create our own path to this isness with the help of the guides. And so how do you do that? Well, they're there to show you what's within you to create that path, so to speak. But they can't do it for you at the same time. And that's where it stands, is we each have to recognize it for ourselves. And it's a challenge, because we got a lot of input from the outside, people trying to confuse us. So just take it one step at a time. Yes, Edward.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Val, it sounds, I get what you're saying. And I just want to say to Todd that, Todd, I'm right there with you. Sometimes I think, oh, yeah, I got this, and I understand this and understand that, blah, blah, blah. But actually being on the conference call tonight is creating me to have a question and to, not to be so comfortable that I got this all figured out.
Yeah. That's good, Edward. When will we ever have it all figured out? I mean, just Dwayne's not here, so he just went out for a bike ride, I think, or a walk. But he just said, the more I become more aware, again, I'm paraphrasing, the smaller I get. He's shrinking in a way, he said. I mean, you think this guy's like, all over the creation, but in his real awareness, I mean, he just sees how vast the isness is, and he sees himself almost shrinking, I mean, totally. And it's not really about figuring it out. It's about just seeing it. But there is a figuring out process. I mean, that part of it is the process, figuring out yourself and how to get through yourself. I would say that's the figuring out part of it. But figuring out the isness, no way. It's beyond anything we could ever experience or consider.
I guess I'm waiting for one of those holy crap, this is real moments.
Well, you get it. You'll get it. I mean, you'll get glimpses of it through, if you're singing the new you, you're going to be getting it, because that opens you up, and you get the connection through that, and you'll get it if you just like watch for it. To me, it used to come in from the back of my head, sort of on the right side, and just get these impressions, and each of us are different. Like Kevin has lots of real side experiences, so he goes off that. Again, I do more, I get these impulses or impressions more, you could say. Just the other day I had a thought. I was kind of joking with Dwayne. It's I had a thought, a thought just came floating into my screen, my awareness, and I try to pay attention, and I usually work off whatever I get, because I'm now in the position where I do try to pay attention. So anything that comes in, I give it some attention, and then I work off of it, if it makes sense, that is. So this thought just kind of came in out of nowhere. I mean, I wasn't looking for it or expecting it or anything. It just like floated in. It just like out of the clear blue sky, kind of just out of outer space. It just popped like a little thing, like pop or something, and then I'm working off of it. So again, you're getting it. I mean, you just a matter of recognizing it, because you're getting it all the time. Life is showing us all the time, and just we're pretty stubborn usually in terms of how we allow it to come in. We usually have our programming, and our sensor up and our programming, and so it's difficult for it to penetrate us sometimes. But the more you do it, it's like exercising a muscle. The more you're going to be open to it and allowing it to come in. That recognition.
Mm.
Christian. Oh, Tim, go ahead. Christian.
Yeah.
Christian. Too.
It's about why we came here, about becoming aware. Because all this material psych realm stuff only lasts so long. It's not real compared to the real universes. This stuff's all gonna go through cycles, just like we see in the sun goes up and the sun goes down and the moon phases and the tides and spring and fall and summer and winter, and these things are just a comparison of what isn't real, that isn't anything more than a reflection, an illusion. The words that Dwayne said about the real purpose of life is to have the heart of a child, pure and real.